Hello, and we're back, and this time I believe I have figured out the microphone problem. So, as always, my name is Ezekiel Schmidt. I am a symbolic artist in the Pacific Northwest. Um, I forgot what I was saying. Oh yeah. If you like my art and you want to see more, there's more of it on Instagram. Although I think I'm not going to be using Instagram much anymore. Doesn't really. There's no reach on there. I have 2,000 followers and it's getting shown to 60 people. So fuck that. You can also go to the link in the description if you want to check out my website, which has my blog, some of the old podcast episodes, and lots of really cool shit on there. Besides art, so you should go check that out. If you want to support me, it really means a lot when people just click on that link because then it lets me know people actually give a shit. Okay. Ooh, I'm not gonna be using. Whoops. Black. It's been a very interesting day. So I found out there's this theory called the American Civil Religion, where it talks about how or at least so I barely looked this up on Wikipedia because I just came across it recently. So this is like something I still need to dive into. But the idea that the religious or the symbols of Americana are kind of taken as religious symbols, like the Constitution is seen as a religious text. What's some other ones? It's just a very interesting thing. We're seeing like as a Americanism, I guess, is like a non-sectarian religion. It's not better to see, but it's better for the camera, I guess. Um, I just find it very interesting to see how we kind of make religions out of almost everything. Um, like nationalism itself can be seen, I guess, as a religion because people like that. There's certain holidays which are like like Fourth of July, I guess for America. Like other countries, their Independence Day or whatever national holidays they have. It's very interesting how there's a human tendency to make things into religions. I think it kind of speaks to I guess, the need, human need for ritual and a sense of something greater than oneself. And that kind of gets woven into whatever. I guess for some people, science is their religion. Not saying that people have like their deities or anything, but it gives them a sense of something greater than themselves. It gives them meaning, gives them something that's fulfilling for them. It also has its own kind of religious text, you could say, like the textbook or whatever is current in accepted science, and that becomes their kind of religious text. I find it very interesting that because I don't know if it's I've heard some people say that it's an animal thing. I don't think it is. I think it's very unique to when you look at I don't want to say developed beings because like then that means like, well, what if someone's not religious? Are they developed being? No, it's more like I guess I guess all of our behavior is in essence animal behavior because we are animals, therefore our behavior is animal behavior. But in animals of higher sentience, maybe, um, like Neanderthals supposedly had rituals of like burial rituals and death, um, beliefs possibly, as far as we can tell. So it's like maybe a primate thing. The want to, or the I don't even know if it's necessarily driven by the fear of death because there's lots of religions that don't really they're not necessarily a fear based. They kind of want to die. But I guess maybe the fear of it could be the fear of discontinuity. Once you stop being that's a fear is that I will no longer be around to affect the world for my loved ones or whatever. The religious drive is very interesting because yes, there are atheists and there's people that don't give a shit about religion, but that's not the norm. The norm is to want to believe in something more than just what you see. Which I mean, that's I guess that's relatively natural because to just think that everything you see is all there is also contradictory to what we know just in general. Like I can't see my Wi-Fi, but I know that exists. I know that it works. I can't see. I can't see light, but I can see it reflecting off of things. Like you can't see light. Like say if I was to, there was someone on one end of a room and someone on something on the other end of the room, and I'm standing in the middle. If I look directly orthogonal to that, I can't see the light going from one end to another. All I see is the illuminated object and the person shining the light. So I guess it's just very easy to see that there's more going on than is visible or sensible. There's there's more things going on than beyond the senses. But then there's I guess taken a little too far and then just blindly believing in something just because you may have an experience because you have like an anecdotal about it. But then again, not everything is repeatable. Sometimes you do just have to kind of trust your experiences. Or I guess you could say that you trust that you have that experience rather than trust the experience itself. Because the experience might be deceiving you, but but you might be like, yes, I did have this experience, regardless of whether that experience tells me more about something. I did have that experience. I thought we really have to go on, even with proofs and things. All we really do is have experience. Because even the knowledge that we get from empiricism is based on experience of empirical fact. Maybe. I don't know. Why are we religious? Is it because we're afraid to die, or is it because we're curious, or because we made the wrong assumptions? We had an experience and then we assume that it applies across the board, because that's something that is very interesting, is the idea that we'll have an experience that's of something that's very singular, but then we have a tendency to apply that generally, when in fact it can't actually, it will only fit in that one particular situation rather than be a generalism. Maybe, I think it's a wrong word, but that's what I'm gonna use it for anyways. It's kind of one of the biases that we have is when we think that, oh, because this happened, therefore it happens all the time, or happens for everyone. When in reality, it's probably only going to happen with you or to you. It's like having a sense experience and like having a certain emotion towards a song and then thinking, oh, everybody loves it. I love this song, therefore everybody's. How can you not love this song? What's wrong with you? It's a very, very human thing, I guess, to generalize based on our own experiences. We haven't said like someone has a mystical experience and then where it has some truth in that experience, they apply it to all of life. I think that's where a lot of maybe maybe that's how religions kind of start. I know that there's some religions that are completely made up just as control mechanisms. If you read Joseph Campbell's myth, Masks of the God, he talks about a religion in Tierra del Fuego. That was there was an explorer who met these people, and all the women were afraid of these spirits and things that would come out at certain times, and they would have to, like make certain offerings and things. But it ended up being just the men um, in masks and things that were just freaking them out because in their oral history a while back, the women were the ones that were in control and not abused, but I guess it's the same thing that happens with any this structural system. They exploited the men, which with every system there's exploitation of some sort. But eventually the men got tired of it and then created these like masks and spirits and things in order to freak out the women, to make them think that the men had special powers to get rid of them. And then from there they used that to exploit the women. And the men knew that their religion was completely made up and that it was bullshit, that the spirits didn't exist. So like there is like religions that are purely control mechanisms, but where does even the idea of coming up with spirits and things, where does that come from? ancient alien people will tell you that aliens. It's all aliens. I don't think so. I think there is a portion of things like that that are influenced by phenomena that is now described as the UFO phenomena, the UAP phenomena. But I don't think that's. I don't. I don't see evidence being interpreted properly to say that aliens built these temples, aliens built the pyramids. I think there's plenty of evidence that humans did it, but just because we don't know how they did it doesn't mean they should take away the amazing technical and architectural knowledge of entire ethnic groups. To me, there's a little bit of racism in ancient aliens thinking, oh, these people couldn't do it because we can't do it, therefore they can't. Ooh, you're treading on dangerous ground, buddy. But is religion influenced by that kind of phenomena? I think there is a lot of truth to that. I think it's how it starts. Someone starts with either mystical or an unexplainable experience, and then they tell other people. Sometimes they get wisdom from that thing, and then it expands from there. And then after the person that's had the experience is dead, that's when the religion starts. As far as I can tell, for many, or not many, for the religions that I have looked through. So it's just a very interesting phenomena that we have going. But then you can become religious about anything. All it has to do is choosing to believe something because someone told you to, or told you of it. Accepting certain rituals, doing certain things to have certain effects. I think that can be applied to anything. There's lots of quasi-religious behavior. That's just part of humanity. That's all I'm going to do for today. I lie. I'm going to do this one a little bit. This brighter. Okay. That's all for today. Hope you all enjoyed it. See y'all tomorrow.